Morocco, a land of ancient medinas, bustling markets, and breathtaking landscapes, has long drawn travelers from around the world. From the crowded streets of Casablanca to the vibrant squares of Marrakech, and even the remote trails of the Atlas Mountains near Imlil, tourists come seeking adventure, culture, and natural beauty. But behind this beauty, danger has sometimes lurked, targeting those who came simply to explore and experience the country. In 2003, Casablanca was shaken by coordinated bombings that claimed dozens of lives and injured many more. 8 years later, Marrakech faced another attack, this time at a café popular with both locals and visitors, leaving 17 dead. And in the mountains of Imlil, foreign hikers were brutally murdered in a case that shocked the world. This three cases explores the tragedies that struck Morocco's most iconic cities and landscapes, where tourists and visitors became victims of terror and violence. Hi guys, welcome back to Crimson Rift Africa, where we uncover the darkest truths from across the continent. If you're new here, this is where horror meets history, raw and unfiltered. Before we begin, a quick disclaimer. Some details may be disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. All information presented is based on verified sources and public records. Casablanca, Morocco's largest city and economic heartbeat, is a place where tradition meets modern life. Its streets are alive with a mixture of locals and travelers, markets brimming with spices, cafes echoing with conversation, and tourists wandering historic neighborhoods, cameras in hand, eager to explore. But on the evening of May the 16th, 2003, this vibrant city became the scene of a tragedy that would shock Morocco and the world. 12 suicide bombers, members of the radical extremist group Salafia Jihadiya, carried out coordinated attacks across 5 key locations, including luxury hotels, popular restaurants, and the city's Jewish community center. These sites were chosen deliberately, places frequented by both locals and foreigners, symbolic of Morocco's connection to the wider world. The intent was clear: to sow terror, disrupt life, and target those drawn to the city's culture and energy. In total, 33 people were killed and over 100 were injured. Among the victims were Moroccan citizens and international visitors, tourists who had come to experience the city's rich history and vibrant culture. Families were left grieving, hotels and restaurants were reduced to rubble, and streets filled with panic as the city struggled to absorb the scale of the attack. Hospitals were overwhelmed as medical staff worked tirelessly to save the injured, while first responders navigated the chaos. Emergency services, volunteers, and ordinary citizens sprang into action, highlighting Morocco's resilience in the face of sudden violence. The attacks revealed the extent of radicalization within the country. Investigations uncovered that many of the bombers had been recruited from impoverished neighborhoods, influenced by extremist ideologies, and trained in secret cells. Authorities launched one of the largest anti-terror operations in Morocco's history, arresting hundreds and dismantling networks involved in planning and supporting the attacks. The psychological impact on tourists and locals was profound. For those visiting Casablanca, a city once celebrated for its charm and cosmopolitan energy, the bombings were a shocking reminder of vulnerability. Travelers had come seeking culture, history, and adventure, but instead were confronted with the indiscriminate reach of terrorism. Despite the fear, Morocco's people united. Citizens condemned the attacks, religious leaders spoke out against violence, and communities demonstrated that extremism could not break the country's spirit. Hotels and public spaces gradually reopened, security measures were strengthened, and life began to return to normal. Yet the memory of that night remained, a stark reminder that Morocco's beauty could coexist with danger, and that tourists, drawn to its streets and landmarks, were not always safe from harm. The Casablanca bombings marked a turning point for Morocco's approach to security and counterterrorism. The devastation in Casablanca left Morocco shaken, but the story did not end there. Years later, in the heart of Marrakech, a city famed for its vibrant squares and bustling markets, tourists once again found themselves in the crosshairs of violence. Marrakech, often called the Red City, is one of Morocco's most beloved tourist destinations. But on April 28, 2011, the city's charm was shattered by an act of violence that would leave a lasting scar. At around 11:50 a.m., a remote-controlled bomb hidden in a backpack exploded at the Argana Café, a popular location for locals and visitors alike. The blast killed 17 people and injured 25, many of them tourists who had come to experience the city's vibrant atmosphere. The explosion transformed a place of leisure and social gathering into a scene of chaos, fear, and tragedy. The perpetrator, Adil El-Atmani, a 25-year-old Moroccan, had reportedly pledged allegiance to al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb, although the group later denied involvement. Investigations revealed that the cafe had been deliberately chosen because it attracted tourists, amplifying both casualties and psychological impact. Witnesses described a sudden roar, followed by panic, screams, and confusion, as people tried to flee the area. First responders and nearby residents rushed to help the wounded, highlighting the city's resilience in the face of terror. The attack sent shockwaves through Morocco and the international community. Tourists, who had once felt safe walking through Marrakech's lively streets, were forced to confront the reality that danger could appear even in the heart of a city famed for its hospitality. Authorities acted quickly, launching a thorough investigation to identify all those involved. El-Atmani was apprehended within days, and the government implemented heightened security measures across tourist areas, including increased patrols, stricter monitoring, and intelligence operations to prevent future attacks. Despite the fear, the local community demonstrated remarkable resilience. Residents and officials alike united to support victims' families, restore a sense of normalcy, and reaffirm that Morocco's identity could not be defined by acts of terror. After the attacks in Casablanca and Marrakech, it became clear that tourists in Morocco could face danger, even in places they thought were safe. But the next tragedy would happen far from the cities in the quiet mountains of Imlil. Hikers and travelers, drawn to Morocco's natural beauty, would face a shocking and brutal attack that reminded the world that danger could strike anywhere. In a quiet village in the Atlas Mountains in Morocco, two young women set out for an adventure they would never return from. Imlil, a small village nestled at the base of North Africa's tallest peaks, is known for its winding trails, stone paths, and breathtaking scenery. Morocco, a land of ancient history, vibrant culture, and stunning landscapes, draws travelers from across the globe. But even in its most peaceful corners, danger can be lurking, hidden in plain sight. These two travelers, full of dreams and curiosity, arrived in Imlil seeking the tranquility of the mountains, unaware that their journey would soon turn into a nightmare. Before we dive into the events that unfolded in Imlil, it's important to understand who these two young women were, the lives they led, the dreams they chased, and the bond that brought them together. Louisa Vesterager Jespersen, born in 1994 in Denmark, was a spirited adventurer. From an early age, she was curious about the world, eager to explore new places, and drawn to nature. Her studies in outdoor recreation and nature guidance reflected a passion not just for travel, but for experiencing and sharing the beauty of the world around her. Maren Ueland, born in 1990 in Norway, shared this same adventurous spirit. Known for her warmth, empathy, and infectious enthusiasm, she was drawn to nature and new experiences. The two first met while studying outdoor recreation and nature guidance at the University of Southeastern Norway. Their shared classes, field trips, and love for adventure forged a strong friendship, one that would later lead them to travel together across the globe. By the time they planned their journey to Morocco in December 2018, they were inseparable companions, ready to explore the Atlas Mountains, trek remote trails, and immerse themselves in new cultures. Their bond, built on trust and shared curiosity, would make the tragedy that awaited them all the more heartbreaking. By mid-December 2018, Louisa and Maren were ready to begin their Moroccan adventure. Their journey began in Marrakech, a city alive with color, spice, and the chaotic rhythm of markets and streets that have fascinated travelers for centuries. The girls immersed themselves in the sights and sounds, experiencing the city's vibrant culture before heading toward the tranquility of the Atlas Mountains. On December 15, 2018, they left Marrakech and traveled to Imlil, a small village nestled at the base of Mount Toubkal, North Africa's highest peak. Imlil, known for its winding trails, stone paths, and breathtaking mountain scenery, had long been a favorite destination for trekkers seeking both adventure and solitude. Louisa and Maren arrived full of excitement, eager to explore the trails, breathe in the crisp mountain air, and experience the serenity of life far from urban chaos. The girls' itinerary was simple but ambitious. They planned to trek, experience local Berber culture, and capture the beauty of the Atlas Mountains through their shared love of photography and nature. Little did they know that this adventure, which began with the thrill of exploration, would soon turn into one of the most shocking crimes in recent Moroccan history. The night of December 16th to 17, 2018, began like any other for Louisa and Maren. After a day of trekking and exploring the trails around Imlil, the two friends returned to the quiet of their temporary lodging near the village. They had been planning the next day's hike to take them higher into the Atlas Mountains, eager to witness the sunrise from the peaks. As darkness fell, the remote nature of their surroundings left them isolated. The Atlas Mountains, beautiful by day, were silent and shadowed at night. It was during these hours that the alleged assailants, Abdesamad Ajoud, Yunus Waziad, and Rachida Fadi, lay in wait. Evidence later suggested that the attackers had specifically targeted foreign tourists in the area, hoping to carry out a gruesome act that would attract global attention. The attack itself was swift and brutal. The victims were allegedly stabbed repeatedly and decapitated, with the violence recorded in a video that surfaced online shortly afterward. In the footage, the attackers allegedly pledged allegiance to ISIS, marking the attack as both a terrorist act and an act of intimidation. Moroccan authorities later confirmed the video's authenticity, indicating that the assault was planned and deliberate rather than random. The morning of December 17, 2018, brought with it a chilling silence over the trails near Imlil. A pair of French hikers, setting out on their route, stumbled upon a scene that would shatter the quiet of the village: the bodies of Louisa Vestaraga, Yespasen, and Maren Oulon. The brutality of the attack was immediately evident. Both young women had been allegedly stabbed and decapitated, their lives violently cut short just kilometers from the trekking routes they had planned to explore. The sight was haunting, a stark contrast to the serenity of the surrounding mountains. Nearby, personal belongings and backpacks lay scattered, untouched in their haste, suggesting that the attack had been sudden and overwhelming. The isolation of the area, combined with the remoteness of the trails, had left no witnesses. It was a grim scene, one that would mark the beginning of a complex investigation and a story that would capture international attention. Once the bodies of Louisa and Maren were discovered, word quickly reached local authorities. Moroccan police units were informed, and an immediate response was organized. The area around Imlil, normally quiet and serene, became the focus of intense scrutiny as investigators worked to understand what had occurred. Forensic teams combed the scene, documenting evidence with meticulous care. They photographed the surroundings, examined the victims' belongings, and began piecing together the sequence of events leading up to the attack. Authorities also analyzed the video that had emerged online, allegedly showing the attackers pledging allegiance to ISIS. The footage provided critical insight into the alleged motive, suggesting that the killings were premeditated and ideologically driven. Investigators began constructing profiles of the suspects, looking at local networks, possible accomplices, and anyone who might have knowledge of extremist activities in the region. Within days of the investigation, Moroccan authorities had narrowed their focus to the three main suspects involved in the killings. Intelligence and tips from local communities helped pinpoint the individuals believed to be directly responsible. The suspects, Abdesamad Ejud, Yunus Waziad, and Rachida Fadi, were tracked to hideouts in and around Imlil and nearby Marrakech. Acting swiftly, police apprehended them, ensuring that they could not escape or destroy evidence. Abderrahim Kayali, who had participated in the expedition but allegedly left before the murders, was also arrested. During questioning, the suspects revealed a chilling ideology. They had allegedly pledged allegiance to ISIS, and the attack was reportedly planned to target foreign tourists, a symbolic act meant to attract global attention. Ejud, believed to be the leader, admitted he had previously attempted to travel to Syria to join extremist groups, highlighting his long-standing commitment to jihadist ideology. Following the confessions, Morocco's anti-terrorism courts prepared to try the suspects. The case drew intense national and international attention, given the brutality of the murders and the victims' status as foreign travelers. The trial began with prosecutors presenting a detailed account of the events, the planning, the night of the attack, and the ideological motives revealed during interrogation. The court meticulously examined the premeditated nature of the crime, emphasizing that the attack had been designed to shock, intimidate, and attract international attention. Throughout the proceedings, the accused largely admitted their involvement. On July 18, 2019, the Moroccan Anti-Terrorism Court handed down its sentence, death for the three main perpetrators, while Kayali's sentence was later elevated from life imprisonment to death. The court also ordered €190,000 in compensation to the victims' families. While Morocco has not carried out execution since 1993, the sentence reflected the seriousness of the crime and the court's intent to deliver justice. The case continued through Morocco's judicial system. In October 2019, the Supreme Court upheld the death sentences. Later developments revealed the psychological toll of incarceration. In 2023, Abderrahim Kayali committed suicide while awaiting execution. The trial not only delivered legal accountability, but also sparked broader discussions about tourism, safety, extremism, and Morocco's use of the death penalty. Vigils and memorials for Louisa and Marin were held internationally, emphasizing both the personal tragedy of their deaths and the global implications of extremist violence. The aftermath of the murders of Louisa Vestager Jespersen and Marin Ulen rippled far beyond the quiet trails of Imlil. Back home, the families of the victims grappled with unimaginable grief. Louisa's friends and loved ones remembered her as fearless, vibrant, and endlessly curious, while Marin's family spoke of her warmth, empathy, and infectious joy. Internationally, the case highlighted the reach of extremist ideologies. The fact that the attackers had pledged allegiance to ISIS underscored the global nature of modern terrorism, showing that even remote tourist destinations could be targeted. Governments and travel agencies issued guidance to warn travelers about potential risks in vulnerable regions, and the tragedy prompted renewed discussions on tourist safety in areas known for both adventure and isolation. In Morocco, the incident forced a closer look at security in tourist hubs and remote mountain villages. Authorities increased patrols, improved intelligence networks, and launched awareness campaigns to protect both visitors and locals. The case also reignited debate over Morocco's death penalty, with some advocating for strict enforcement in terrorism cases, while others questioned the morality and effectiveness of capital punishment. The story of Louisa and Marin remains a cautionary tale, A reminder that curiosity and adventure can sometimes intersect with unimaginable danger. Yet it also stands as a testament to the bonds of friendship, the courage of grieving families, and the global community's resolve to confront extremism, honor victims, and seek justice, even in the most harrowing of circumstances. From Casablanca to Marrakech, and finally Imlil, each case shows how acts of terror and violence left deep scars on Morocco, reminding us that tragedy can strike even in the most peaceful places. And that concludes our case today. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you found this video thought-provoking, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next case. And if there's a story you think deserves to be told, especially one that's been buried or forgotten, drop it in the comments. We just might cover it next. Stay safe. Take care. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.